If you've ever watched my stream, you've probably noticed that I almost never buy mana items when I play mages. It's something people ask me about all the time. They actually don't, but I like to imagine it in my head. How do you even manage your mana? The truth is, it's not that hard. Once you understand how mana actually works and what it's meant to do, you realize how useless it actually is, especially in this season. And by the way, if you like these kinds of breakdowns, feel free to drop a like and subscribe. It really helps. Let's start with the idea behind mana in the first place. Mana exists as a limiter. It's there to stop you from endlessly casting spells and dominating lane without consequences. It forces base timings. If you could spam your full combo every wave with no cost, early laning would just be chaos. So mana is actually a balancing tool. It tells you can only use your full combo if you know you will hit everything. And that's the key part. Management. Mana isn't supposed to be something you stack infinitely. It's a resource that rewards control. The better you get at trading efficiently, the better you become at recognizing when to spend mana and when to hold back. If you are throwing every spell mindlessly just to push every single wave, of course you will run out. I see this situation really often in a low elo. But if you cast when it actually matters, to win a trade, secure a cannon, or push tempo before a recall, you almost never need extra mana to begin with. So instead of thinking I need more mana, I think I need to be more efficient with it. Now let's talk about how I play around it in practice. A big part of it comes down to wave control and how insanely strong the new Homeguards are. The moment Riot buffed the recall movement speed in this season, it changed how efficient resets could be. You can now recall randomly, walk back, and miss from 1 to 3 minions only. That's it. You can see it right now. I recall randomly, run from base, and lose 2 minions. So how am I doing it then? I always plan for one last wave before I recall, usually the one right before a cannon wave. You spend the rest of your mana on this wave, push it in with abilities, and crash it under the enemy turret. Now the enemy player is stuck. If they stay, they can't push this wave plus next wave fast enough before you come back. So if they push and recall, you will be in time to freeze it. And if they match your recall, they will still be late to the next wave. So you either get a good freeze, or you get a wave priority after your recall. Either way, you come out ahead. And all you did was plan your mana around that one last push. This kind of reset timing makes mana items unnecessary. You are not trying to stay in lane forever, you are trying to reset correctly. And because Homeguards bring you back so fast, you can do this again and again, without ever losing control. Now, let's talk about the items themselves. Mana items are, by design, weaker in combat stats. They have to be, otherwise they would be broken. You would get more mana and more damage at the same time. So they always come with some kind of trade-off. More comfort, less power. If you look at something like Lost Chapter or Ludens, they don't give that much actual damage. Just mana, decent amount of AP, and a fine passive. Compare that to something like Storm Surge, Rocket Belt, or even Hextech Alternator. Those items give you either immediate burst potential or engage options. For control mages, that difference is huge. Take Syndra for example. Her entire identity is about landing one clean combo and deleting someone. Storm Surge not only boosts her damage, but also makes it easier to finish a kill, thanks to the additional damage on its passive. A mana item doesn't do that, it just lets you use your spells more in theory. But in reality, Syndra doesn't need to cast her combo every time it's up, just once when it actually matters. That's why mana items end up being traps for most mages. They feel good, but they slow down your power spike. You delay the point where you can actually take control of the game, for the sake of early comfort. Of course, there are exceptions. Ryze, Anivia, Kassadin. These champions scale with mana or rely on long, sustained fights, where the extra mana really matters. For them, it isn't just a convenience, it's part of their damage. But if your champion doesn't have that, you are just wasting your gold on something that doesn't really matter anymore. And the runes help as well. Mana flow band is almost always enough to bridge the early game, and have good amount even in mid game. It gives you a small mana pool increase over time, and once you stack it, you rarely run out in a normal game. Presence of Mind can also work for niche champions, though it's not really that good. It can be good for Swain, for example, if you are playing versus lots of melee champions and going for Conqueror setup. Anyway, what you are essentially doing is trading a bit of rune efficiency for much stronger item spikes. I think it's a worthy trade. At the end of the day, I know, building mana items is just comfortable. You don't have to think about wave timing or mana usage, you just perma-cast spells until something dies. But that doesn't really work for me. Do you really need that comfort if you will deal less damage with it? I don't think so. The faster you hit your first big damage item, the faster you can kill your opponent or take over side waves. Playing without mana items forces you to think about tempo, when to trade and when to recall. And once you get used to that, you will realize you're not actually limited by mana anymore. You are limited by your own decisions. So yeah, that's why I almost never buy mana items. It's not because I hate them, it's because they are not really good right now, with all of the stuff right dropped on us. If you don't trust me, here's the data of a couple of champions I play, and other ones as well. And if you are still not confident, go try it out for a few games. Get mana flow, build straight into a damage item, and plan your recalls better. You will see how much higher your damage feels. You might mess up a few times at first, but when it clicks, it's hard to go back. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I really appreciate it. Thanks and bye!